How's it, friends? I'm Nazarbro, and you know what time it is. It's the first of the month. Time for some unscripted goodness as we take a look at what's on offer for the trading post. Now, it's October. I'm expecting some spooky shit, hopefully at least. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now, as per usual, I don't know fully what's on offer. Obviously, I'm seeing some stuff around me, and I also saw a little bit of a preview of like a mountain stuff before, but I don't fully know what's going on. I try to keep myself a little blind, so let's take a look. Aha, the spooky shit. Indeed, this is a really cool ensemble, actually. Wow, that's cool. If it wasn't 800 tenders, I might have actually picked this up. But this is very cool. The Harvest Golems are a very unique Warcrafty thing. I don't think there's any other fantasy setting that I know of off the top of my head where everything just seems normal and fantasy, but then the humans have robots out in their fields cutting their wheat and stuff. Harvest Golems are very unique to Warcraft, and I think that's cool. But this is a cool ensemble, and the flavor text references the that farming family down in Westfall. So this is cool. I'm tempted to freeze this, actually, but let's see what else we've got going on. Ah, I see we've got a recolored Hand of the Jailer. Some Shadowlands throwbacks, unfortunately. Sorry for bringing up Shadowlands, but hey, we got a big maw hand right in front of us here. The white color is extra spooky, though. I'm not too big of a fan of these hand mounts. I don't have any. Shocker, I didn't play a lot during Shadowlands. I eventually will probably go back just to clean up some of like the cosmetics and stuff and achievements that I don't have. But in terms of these hand mounts, I don't have any. I'm not going to drop the 750 tenders on getting one of these. So moving on. Oh, we've got a claw weapon to go with the really cool ensemble, and it's a cool looking claw weapon too. I mean, I like it. I like it a lot. Just combined with the Harvest Golem set plus the claw, I think it looks really cool. Fist weapons are interesting. On the classes that can use them, I don't usually get too much use out of them. Like for Monk, I like to use the, ironically, if I can, I like to use the Brewmaster Legion artifact because it hangs over your shoulder and I think that looks cool. I don't play too much Shaman right now, but if I did, maybe I'd use some cool fist weapons. I know on my Troll Shaman a while ago I used like the very cool looking Troll fist weapons that just matched his vibe, and I liked that a lot. Despite the name of my YouTube channel, I don't actually have Nazuro for my evoker. It never dropped for me. I would like to go and maybe try to hit up Sarkareth every week to get it, but I don't have it as of now. If I did have it, you'd be damn sure I'd be using only fist weapons on my evoker. Anyway, tangent aside, moving on. Ah, more Paracels. It's too bad you can't really... Can I preview this? No, I can't. Well, it's a Paracel. I can't preview it. Moving on. One of them shale wings. 200 tendies for a pet. Thank you, Blizzard. They learned. I said this, I think, the last, probably the previous 2 reviews of the trading post stuff, that they reduced the price of pets. It used to be like 600. Now they're down to 200, I think. 3 months in a row, maybe 2 months in a row if I'm misremembering. Either way, it's a cool pet. Ooh, and a mention of Undermine in the description. Well, if goblin shenanigans in the future of this expansion wasn't already pretty apparent, we have now a current mention of Undermine. It's in a pet on the trading post, but hey, maybe we'll get some goblin stuff. I'm not too much of a fan of goblin stuff, but maybe if the Undermine raid or something is cool, if it exists, I'll reevaluate how I feel if it actually exists later. Anyways, moving on. They've definitely put a recolor of this on the trading post before a while ago. I mean, it's a cool looking polearm. I'd use this on like an orc warrior maybe. I know that some people don't like a lot of the polearm animations in the game. I can't really say how often I use polearms. I feel like polearm right now is like, it's the survival hunter weapon, and survival hunter is a bit of a of a weird place in terms of people playing it and liking it and stuff. So, I mean, maybe like an orc survival hunter would look cool with one of these. It's big, it's metal as hell. Interesting. Moving on. We got a good old dwarf hammer. Wild hammer. This is literally just saying like, yeah, this was wielded by this famous wild hammer dwarf. It's a cool hammer. It's pretty cheap too. I'm not sure if I'd pick it up even for my dwarf. There's a lot of good like one-handed hammers in the game, so I don't think I would pick this up. But it's cool. That's a gnarly looking hammer in the very dark black color. I do appreciate the simpler transmogs more than the really crazy ones. Usually, sometimes depending on the weapon, there's a mage staff, like when they did those class ensembles and then they gave a weapon with each, or like there was a weapon you could get separately from each. The mage one looks very cool, but it is enormous. And I'll put a picture here just to show you what I mean. And generally that's why I like simpler stuff more, because it just scales better. When the grand stuff is just absolutely enormous. Some people might like the gigantic sparkle stick on their back. I think it's a cool staff, I just wish it was smaller. Anyway, tangent aside, that's why I like the simpler stuff more. They just generally keep size better and they look within scope. Not to say I don't like pulling out something fancy every now and then. I really do like a lot of the mage artifact weapons. I love the fire mage swords, they're really cool. And their lore is sick as hell. But I mean, simple hammers like this, I mean, this is cool. And then a lighter colored one, also cool. Decently priced, I think. Anyway, moving on. So the color for the tabards and hopefully like hoods and stuff is this gray color. I mean, gray is good. You could use this probably with a decent amount of transmog sets. I used recently the blue tabard on my paladin because I went through the legendary quest in Wrath of the Lich King to get the Shadowmourne axe, specifically so that my paladin could have the silver hand tabard. But until I got that tabard, I had him wearing just the plain blue tabard that just went with the set that he was wearing. So you can use these to tie together sets decently well. And this gray color is pretty neutral, which means it might be pretty useful. And then I guess this is supposed to be a dark version of this one. Okay, yeah, it is a bit darker, but I wouldn't say they're different enough, really. It's not too exciting. Don't really have much else to say about that one. Hey, and we got the gray, along with the collar and the not tattered cape. I'm gonna pick up both of these probably. Let me just check what else is on here before I spend any of my tendies, but I like these hoods a lot. I have a hood I think in the similar color from the Diablo event. There was a hood that you could get that was a grayish color called like the Hood of Enmity or something. But even so, I would like to pick up these because like this would be cool on like a rogue. Like a rogue, maybe a warlock. Maybe if you put together a certain like shadow priest set, these hoods are cool. And then the collars, like the little scarves, are nice too. So I might end up picking up both of these ensembles. And maybe the tabard, but that's a whole 300 right there. So we'll see what else is here first. Oh, recolors of this old school, the feathery bows. And then there's another one here. It's like a darker color. So this one, favored by Helia's personal adherents, and then this one's favored by Valkyr. Okay. I mean, those are both pretty cool. I know I've seen the gold version of this, the regular bow, everywhere. Old school players that still play Hunter from like all the way back in the day, they love these old school feather bows. And these, I like this like white one a bit more than this darker one. This one just looks like it's dirty, but this one looks like it's made of like silver. I could see this on like a silver covenant archer or something. Very cool. Oh yeah, and then we've got the other like clothing items to match with it. So we got the gloves, the skirt. Oh, but we've got white also, and then some Akama scythes, some broken scythes. Kind of weird that we can't play as broken actually after all these years. There's a lot of old school races that people really wanted that we haven't gotten playable, you know, like Naga and Ogres and stuff. Broken are very, very OG, along with like the Naga and everything. And it's just weird how we haven't gotten them as playable in any form, especially since, you know, we have the Draenei. It's just weird. Anyway, gray shoulder capes. Ooh, white shoulder capes. Now this is fresh. 75 tenders. I might end up picking these up too. But the white is just very good. Little Naru lantern. Cool if you play like a Draenei priest, I'd say. Very cool for something like a Draenei priest. And a old school looking wand. I've said this every time a wand shows up in the store that I've done one of these videos for, which I don't know if it's been more than once besides now. But like, who uses wands? I don't think any raid bosses drop wand. Oh, okay, actually, I think something in Nerebar Palace drops a wand. But like, who uses wands? Nobody uses wands, which is a shame because I think maybe some of them could be pretty cool. I like some of the really basic wands that I remember come from BFA. They almost look like a crystal with some like gnarled root around them. They look pretty cool. But like, other than that, just like, nobody uses wands. Who uses them? Anyway, and then we've got a white version. Well, they're not exactly the same, but I mean, if out of these two, I like this one more, for sure. And then last two things, we got some ugly boots, which I guess is a reference to Uggs. I mean, these are fine, I guess. And then we've got the returning stuff right under. So, all in all, I'd say this is actually pretty decent. So like the gray and the white stuff is good because you can use that for a lot of different things. The recolors of a very popular old school bow. The white silvery one is decent compared to the. If this is supposed to be black, it doesn't look black. It just looks dirty. The Harvest Golem ensemble is insanely good. This is awesome. This is so cool. And then I guess the hand if you're into that. So it's not bad actually. This ensemble definitely carries. It definitely carries. I would love to like buy this. But I don't think I would ever use it enough. Oh, maybe on like a undead warlock. Ooh, that would look sick. This would look so sick on an undead warlock. But I mean, the rest of it. I mean, say what you want about pets. This is a decent pet, I guess. It's not unique though, like some of the pets we've gotten before. I say this is an all right month. I don't like this hand personally, but it is a cool mount in terms of being pretty unique, and it means you can get one of these without having to go and spend a bunch of time in Shadowlands, which I guess is a plus. But if you don't want to be reminded of Shadowlands, and maybe you don't want to get a mount that just oozes the Shadowlands style. So maybe not. But the weapons are fine. I like this dwarf hammer. This is an interesting polearm. This recolor is kind of whatever. But like I said, I like the bows, especially the silver one. And the basic transmog colors are good. I'm gonna give this actually, I think, an 8 out of 10. But like I said, it's really held up by this, because I think this is so sweet. It's very cool. I'm actually gonna freeze this. Sorry, fish. This ensemble is a bit cooler than you, I think. I'm gonna hold on to that. So yeah, 8 out of 10, I'd say, for this month. And I can't, like, you got to remember, I'm somebody that likes this simpler transmog. So I put a lot of stock into how good the simple stuff is, and gray and white are good colors. So let's see next up what's returning. It's a very small selection, small returning selection. Hey, the Zevra, one of the old refer a friend rewards from way back in the day. And there's a very specific refer a friend award that I'm waiting to show up in the trading post. I don't know if it already has, and maybe I missed it because there was a few months where I didn't play while the trading post was kind of rolling through its inventory. But it's that green hippogriff. It's the best looking hippogriff in my opinion, besides the one from the BFA pre-patch, which I do have, but I really want the green one. But this is a cool old school refer a friend mount. And 550 is not terrible, so I might actually come back to this guy. That is an interesting looking offhand. Cool for a warlock for sure. Something if I like got something that looked like this drop from an old raid or dungeon or something that I would running on a warlock, I would probably use that if I was using a one-handed weapon and an offhand. Another Paracel, which I can't see, so I can't really give an honest opinion about it. I don't actually know what they really look like that much. Anyway, cool looking witch hat. It's too bad hats suck in this game because they just delete your hair. Blizz really has to try to figure out how to do something about that. And then we got hands, and apparently I've got the black capes, shoulder capes. Returning stuff kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie. This all kind of blows. The Zevra is cool at least. I'm glad that they found a place to put the old refer a friend rewards, and they're not just gone forever. I don't like it when things are absolutely not obtainable anymore. I would prefer if things would rather stay obtainable in the game, even if it's a stupid low drop rate. So promotional stuff like this being available in this form, I think this is fine. I think this is acceptable. I'm still waiting for that hippogriff though. Hopefully it rolls around at some point. And I think I know what the monthly like reward is from finishing the track. So let me just double check. Yeah, it's the Zereth Mortis jellyfish. I spent an all right amount of time I did not spend an all right amount of time in Shadowlands. I skipped Shadowlands largely. I was playing other games. In terms of MMOs, I was spending a lot of time in Final Fantasy XIV that I had been for a couple years already anyway, because it was like the lead up to Endwalker. But anyway, I did come back for Zereth Mortis, and I do like the aesthetic of all the Zereth Mortis like animals and stuff. I have one of the like bird mounts from Zereth Mortis, but I never stuck around long enough to get like the bees and the jellyfish and all those other really cool Zereth Mortis mounts. But I guess I'm getting the jellyfish when I finish this this monthly track, which is cool. Fair enough. And that's gonna have to do it for this episode. So like I mentioned, it's an alright month. I'd say the returning stuff actually kind of hurts the month, which is usually not the case. Usually the returning stuff is decent, and then the actual monthly rewards themselves are not that good. But this time I'd say it's a bit different. So like I said, it was an 8 out of 10, I'd say, maybe a 7, depending. But I've given, I think, like 2 7s already recently, unless last month was a 6, I don't remember. But I'd say this one's an 8 because that Harvest Golem set is insanely good. The gray colors can probably be pretty useful, and the hand is a unique mount. Even if you don't like the Shadowlands stuff, it's a unique mount, and that does definitely help its case. And then the monthly reward is a mount, and a decent one. It's funny, this month is just like, let's give you 2 Shadowlands mounts so you don't have to go and spend time in Shadowlands if you don't want to. So that's a plus. Anyways, thanks so much for watching this video. If you made it all the way to the end, you're a legend, and I can't thank you enough. If you like how I do things here, consider dropping a like down below, and subscribing would mean the world to me. I would love to just make YouTube videos full-time, but I need your help to get the subscriber count up. My current goal is 500 subscribers. We're making slow progress every day, and I do recommend maybe checking out some of my other videos. I've made a video recently going over some of the anniversary stuff, as well as a video also going over just thinking about if the Arathi could be playable. Some people have really wanted them to become an allied race, but are they unique enough? There's a whole video I made about that very concept, so check that out if you're interested. Other than that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe, bros.